Everybody, how are you doing today, beautiful? Welcome back to the channel. We've just had June's community stream come up for Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, and I cannot tell you how happy I am with this stream. So if you'd like to know why, all the stuff that's coming out in June, and exactly what's making me feel quite so elated, then stay tuned and keep on watching. Of course, don't forget to check out all of my social media links in the description box below, and as you can see by the big old chat box underneath me that's moving up fairly quickly, I'm actually doing this live on stream. So we covered the community stream live on stream. I'm doing this recording live on stream. I do lots of things live on stream, so if you want to come and follow me on Twitch, then by all means come and do so. I also shout out one of my patrons over on Patreon every time I release a brand new video, and today that person is going to be Charles Weebly, who has Lulu as their title card. And if you're interested in getting title cards made just for you, and like special thanks in videos, shout outs, private streams, like having the physical cards sent to you, all sorts of other benefits, then consider joining what Charles Weebly has done and joining in on Patreon and supporting the channel further. Massive thank you goes out to you, Charles, and to everyone else that does the same. And lastly, of course, don't forget to check out all the other content creators for Dissidia Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy Opera Omnia and all of the resources out there for it. And a big old thank you for the community stream as well to Crystal and Josh, who provide us with the same fantastic information every month. The first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to this particular stream, and everyone is probably going to go off with this the same way I will if you're watching this live, is this slide right here. You have no idea how happy this slide makes me, because the whole gem cap thing has been looming over the community's head for the last few months, and I have no qualms in telling you all that when that gem cap was announced, I absolutely wet the bed, and I was absolutely terrified and really worried about what this was going to mean for my business, what this was going to mean for like me as a content creator. Was this kind of the start of my downfall? And a lot of people were really worried about it. Was it that's a selfish thing? Obviously, the game is going to suffer from that a great deal as well. However, this slide solves so many of the issues that we were going to have. So what's going to happen here, and this is going to be implemented after May 26th, which is my birthday, funnily enough. And after that point, you can trade your gems for multi-draw tickets. So multi-draw tickets function in exactly the same way as spending 5,000 gems would on a banner. So you get the draw rate, so you get the +1 on there, you get G tokens from it, you can, like, if you have them, you'll use them before gems. So what this is a way of getting around the gem cap situation, which we have been told is going to get implemented next month, by making it so that you can trade those gems that you would have had for tickets that you can use as if they were gems anyway. So realistically, this is an absolute godsend for us. It does make me wonder what caused the gem cap in the first place when we're able to get around it with something like this, because there is next to nothing that you would have spent gems on that you couldn't just trade in for loads of these multi-draw tickets. And as is said down there, you can flex your 999 multi-tickets if you've spent over 5 million gems, which, let's face it, none of us is going to be able to do anytime soon. Though I'm at 900k gems, and I want to see if I can hit the million club before I start purchasing these, and I wonder if that's possible. But honestly, like, talking about this makes me actually emotional, because I was so frightened of what this means and what the gem cap was going to mean for the game, what it was going to mean for me as a business, for our community, for all sorts of things. And yes, there's some of that that's selfish, but when this is your living, you have to be a little bit. And to see it navigated in such an elegant way is something that makes me absolutely beside myself with happiness. The next thing that we want to talk about here, we're now back on the actual banners themselves, and we have Bahamut coming up on Friday. Now, I was under the impression that something was going to happen in this video. I didn't think it was going to be a character or anything, because I thought the only way that something could have come out is if Prish got pushed off this banner, because we knew that the Divine Bahamut banner was coming on Friday. But we actually did get that, and you'll see that in a little while. So when I said we're going to get something, but I don't know what it is, I was actually bang on the money. Just saying. But if you want to know more about Prish and Yuna and the Divine Bahamut event, I have already posted my Should You Pull video on these guys. Prish is very interesting and a lot of people swear by her. I'm not one of those people. I think she's cool, but I'm not super excited for Prish myself or Yuna because I have other characters that can function in a similar fashion to Yuna. But people who love her will get a lot out of her. So this will have your divine boost for characters like we've always had. And I have to say, that costume for Prish is badass, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't want it. So now going into the next banners that we're going to see. On May 30th, which is next week, we're going to see the return of Shulk and what appears to be her golfer costume. So Shulk is fine with her C90. Like, she gets more damage, which is what she realistically needs, and her EX is still really cool. Her LD is still really cool. And her Lost Chapter comes with a caveat where you can't just throw confusion out at the enemy. You do have to do it a different way. Unless you have Waka, then you can choose it still. But she also comes along with Lulu, or like, who brings her LD along. Lulu's still extremely meh, unfortunately. She doesn't do anything new. She's an enchanter that does more damage. Her LD makes it so that fire damage does more damage. That's pretty much it. It's not especially exciting. So if you like Lulu, you probably could find uses for her. Her damage is adequate, but not having a BT is always going to hold her back when your primary role is as a damage dealer. That's pretty much all I have to say on that banner. So the next slide that we have to look at is actually a very exciting one because it's a showcase of the fact that we've had 10 million downloads for Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia at the end of the month. And as somebody that's trying to hit the Millionaires Club for gems, because I've wanted to for the longest time, and I realistically only have this month to do it, getting those 10k daily login bonus gems is going to help a great deal. And more tickets, fantastic. Love that. We're very, very pleased with that. All good stuff. Multiple tickets, multiple gems. Never going to turn those down if it's just from Chocobo panels, daily missions. Like, brilliant. We love that. Absolutely fantastic. There is also a Portal app campaign as well, but there is pretty much every other month. So that's going to be some free armor. You know, we all need armor tokens, right? We all need loads of those. And, you know, if we hit the 1.2 million points mark on the Portal app, then we get some tickets and some gems as well. So I wouldn't sniff at that either. So the Lux Battle that we're going to look at, and the last bit of Prish's batch at least, is actually very interesting because it's global first content, which is exactly what I was asking for. Honestly, there's a big discussion that we have, and people in my chat can feel free to respond to this. I would take content without banners before I took banners without content. Because what's the point in having all of these amazing characters if you use them once in an event and then throw them in the bin? It's brilliant to get more content like this, which is a boss rush that we wouldn't have had normally, and stuff gets shuffled around to fit extra content. I'm really happy about that because I know JP's had a lot of times where banners come out without content. I would rather have content than banners. Even though we are getting 2 banners with this. Like, it says first multi-draw free, both boss rush banners. That means there's 2. And I imagine one of them will contain Lana and Rain BT+, because that makes sense. The other one will have Prish, and I'm assuming will probably have Realm LD on it, which Realm LD gives her the ability to do additional attacks during her sketch turns. You actually get to summon Ultros, and it's really ultra cool, and I kind of want it. But then the other character that we're getting coming around with this on June the 8th is Seiss, who you can't see here, and I'm doing this live, so I don't have a picture of her like I do in my normal videos. But her gimmick is she's a follow-up character, trap character, self-dark enchanting, and her main gimmick is if an enemy is delayed really heavily, she brings other enemies to match the turn order of that delayed enemy. So I think she's cool, and a lot of people will probably really like her, but she doesn't really fuss me all that much. Like, I think that she's cool. Like, I'm not gonna go in on Seiss because I would rather save my resources for like, you know, early Shinryu era, like get Kane. I kind of want Cryo FR, even though no one else does. But I think that while Seiss is very cool, she's not a character I'm actively chasing. Lana and Rain BT+, kind of a letdown because they don't get many additional HP dumps in their kit, which is really what they needed to really perform. Realm, that's going to be a flavor thing. Some people will really love her, but if it is Realm, then she'll do really well in DET9. So on the 13th of June, is going to be Dimensions NT9. So exactly the thing that maybe Realm will come along in just in time for. Now the interesting thing here, and this could just be a misnomer in the actual card itself, but there is another character here that should be getting their level 90 and rework. So it says Galuf, Vincent, Sephiroth, and it should be Porum as well. So whether she features in one of the boss rush banners or maybe something else entirely, I don't know. But Porum should also be listed here as well. So Sephiroth gets a much better kit in general. Like his EX is significantly stronger. His BT plus obviously means that he gets his very unique BT debuff twice, and it lasts a bit longer. And he actually gets some oddly powerful buffs out of it, like Brave gains and stuff, which is nonsensical, but we'll definitely take it. And then Vincent is the other BT character as well, and he gets reworked, so his LD is brought up to scratch, because a lot of people already have his LD from when it came out the first time, because it was global first last year. But his BT effect is preventing the enemy from buffing themselves, which is very, very useful for DET9 for obvious reasons. You'll also notice that there's no more free pulls on any of these, which is fine because a lot of these banners were skippable already. It just makes it easier to do that. Galuf, on the other hand, I will say, Galuf is one to keep an eye on because his level 90 makes his counters, etc. hit really hard, and he does do very, very well. So I would definitely keep an eye on him, certainly until we see Auron come around in what I assume will be mid-July. And then talking about DET9 itself, prepare yourselves. Prepare thy anuses for this particular mission because it is a pain in the backside. You see those burbs, the big burly chocobos? They are going to absolutely wreck you if you're not prepared for it. This is by far the hardest mission that we've had so far, so make sure you have the characters ready for them. Okay, so we just have one more slide to go over, and it's going to feature Edge on June 17th, and then we're going to get King on the next part of the week, so June 22nd. So these events are relatively simple. Like if you're looking for evasion, then Edge does have you covered. He can still evade for the whole party through his EX, and his LD makes it so that he has a lot of really strong counterattacks that come after his LD or after he evades something. So he becomes a bit more of an evade and counter tank, similar to Galuf. So if you want that AoE realness and that badass costume, you might want to look into Edge. King does more King. He shoots things. He does damage. That's realistically the end of that. I mean, Edge was originally when Garnet LD came out, so I'm wondering if maybe something gets changed here. Jagran also gets his C90, and Jagran is not much better than he was before, so I certainly wouldn't panic about it if you couldn't get him previously, but he is... Some people really love him. Like some of my patrons absolutely love using him, and that's absolutely fair as well. If you wanted to use Jagran or King, there is absolutely nothing stopping you. However, I will say that following this month will be the start of Shinryu and FR era, and if you want to know more about that, I have a 2-hour long video all about that. Like Future Pulse 5, the 5th inning. If you want to go and watch that, that will tell you so much about that era. Hopefully it'll help somebody. But for now, because of that, I think that this period of time is a really good time to be saving resources, especially now that we know that we're safe to do so because the gem cap thing has been circumvented. So that's everything that we have to talk about when it comes to June in Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. And as you can see, everyone's saying lots of bye-byes. So if you'd like to come and join in with some of the fun that we have over on Twitch, on Thursday, which is my birthday, we will be doing a big old quiz, which I did actually do a test run of earlier, and it did go well, I think. Hopefully it'll all be fine, so definitely come along and join in for that. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for notification on any future videos I might be making. And it would be lovely to see you and hang out with you guys if you want to come and join me on Discord as well. So thank you ever so much for that. Thank you to Josh and Crystal once again for providing the information for June in Dissidia Opera Omnia. Let me know in the comments below who you're planning on pulling for, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone. See you later, beautiful. Bye now.